Hello everyone, we finished up our chapter on the guards and now it's time for us to move forward with some more advanced concepts for Hipster Longsword Part 5, the foundation and base of the art. Vadi tells us in his text, measuring the tempo of ourselves and our companion is the foundation and base of the art. Intrinsically linked to tempo is measure, so we're going to start off by defining these two things and branching out to more advanced concepts that become the basic principles of Vadi's tactics. So, what is tempo? This is a tempo. This is a tempo. That's a tempo. That's also a tempo. And you best believe that these two things are tempos. Tempo is defined in modern terms as the rate or speed of motion or activity. Pace. In fencing, this is expressed as the time it takes to do most things, cutting, thrusting, moving, and to measure. By measuring and assessing our opponent's rate at which they attack, move, and defend, we make ourselves ready to choose which way we decide to approach the fight and how we will progress to the hit. As Vadi says, making sure our cuts and thrusts are to the right contexts. These all take time and action which can be exploited or stolen by our companion or from ourselves. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves with tempo, we will talk briefly about measure. There are 3 measures. 1, out of measure, 2, largo or wide measure, and 3, close measure. To make things simpler for ourselves, we'll now look at some basic situations that could play out in a fight. First, the fight starts, we hit our opponent and kill them. Second, we cut at our opponent, they parry us, and we bind. If we have done our homework correctly, we'll know that the Mezzospada is the best place where most of our techniques come online. Vadi says many things of the Mezzospada, but for this context, we are told to stay in the bind and play from that bind. And the best way to do this, as Vadi tells us, is from Mezzospada and using the mezzotempo. Mezzotempo is the act of attacking an opponent in the middle of their tempo. Vadi dedicates an entire chapter to this topic, and we'll be using this one specific technique to kind of get a better picture of it. Shown next, our opponent is throwing cuts at us as we seek the right bind and timing. As soon as we arrive at the Mezzospada and see the line to the head, open up, we orient and strike the fendente behind the sword to their head, like so. Vadi seemingly describes multiple ways to arrive at what he calls the jewel of his art. Here I will show you another one of the ways to do just that. And here's another example involving a provocation with a feint. Followed up lastly by us switching from one side of the sword to another to arrive at a very advantageous bind for us to exploit. Along with rotare, mezzotempo and rotare form the pillars of our actions in the bind. Rotare for hard pressure and setting up feints, and mezzotempo when we have identified our opponent's timing and have the appropriate bind. To expound a bit on our other actions, if our opponent is thrusting or in an extended position, we can break the thrust or exchange it when we can, but we'll talk more about thrusts in our next video. The mezzotempo is extremely difficult to talk about, and Vadi tells us this plainly in his text. Finding the same difficulty, I want to give you all the advantages we possibly can by next talking about body mechanics. Vadi's footwork is described the way it is with good reason. We want to make discordant actions to set ourselves up for these techniques, which is why we end up with the sword on the same side of our legs often when we cut. If we feel too much pressure in the bind, we make a simple short rotare to attack the opposite side of our initial cut. This can be done on the reverso or dritto lines. As with the rotare, the mezzotempo cut can be delivered this way as well. We find that since our bodies are aligned to one side of ourselves, they naturally want to uncoil into the direction opposite of where our leg and sword are. This mechanism of our body makes attacks behind an opponent's sword in the manner shown previously make a ton of sense due to our arms wanting to move in that direction, taking our edge with it to our opponent's waiting head. In truth, this makes attacking on the reverso side much more profitable, due to our arms coming into a slight cross, exaggerated here for demonstration, and why I think Vadi mentions the reverso as often as he does. With arms crossed and body held discordantly, this makes for a hell of a follow-up after a rotare or simple cut around to the reverso side. Quick, deadly, and artful. Just remember that you have to have that timing and Mezzospada bind down pat to do this without incurring an afterblow. Also, this is a very subtle action. Vadi tells us as much. We might threaten a big cut to get the parry we want, but we aren't trying to clobber our opponent with this action. It is all done at the wrist or the elbow, efficient and quickly. Vadi tells us that this helps us wage war against our opponent with smaller movements. This truth is found in the act. We'll save our bigger actions for another video. So, our two actions, Mesotempo and Rotare, are placed at the Mesospada and the thrust at the wide. Following a video action of a Rotare, we will look at how we are supposed to finish our action with the Pressa, or the close game. Vadi tells us that we can choose whichever Pressa we want to do after we've hit our opponent. I personally prefer pommels and disarms, but whatever you can take is what you should try to get when it comes to playing with Shreddo or grappling. All in all, every one of these things come down to our core ability to understand tempo, measure, and use of our bodies in the way Vadi tells us to accomplish this, the foundation of the art. These concepts were difficult for the master himself to convey, and the concepts of which I have difficulty describing as well. To end off our video, we'll look at a simple flow drill of fendentes and rotas being done from the wrist, either in two of our middle guards or two of our high guards, making sure that we're doing our cuts only with our elbows or only with our wrists. Please keep in mind that I don't intend to be speaking gospel here. All of these ideas and concepts are my own interpretation, aided by others who have spent a lot more time studying these kinds of things. In conclusion, I hope this wasn't too much of a rambly mess for you. I tried my best to organize these concepts, but I do have to be getting out of here. I don't have too much time to kill. My name's Kemp-Cowell, this is the Sinestra channel. This has been part 5 of the Hipster Longsword series, and I'll be seeing you nerds on the next one.